Dan Shore from Shore School Music. This is a recap from Guitar 101. So, from the first lesson. So here I'm going to go through the parts of the guitar. So first what we're going to start out with is this big part here. This is what's called the headstock, which holds these pegs here, which are called tuning pegs. So, and that's what makes the ability to tune your guitar into correct pitches. This white part here is called the nut, which helps with the little grooves in here, which helps hold the strings in place. Then this right here, this long part, that's called the guitar neck. And then here, these metal bars here, right here, they're called frets. And then here you'll usually see on the top or on the fretboard itself, they're called fret markers, which allow you to be able to identify a position to play certain things in, whether scales, chords, songs just in general. They're good placements to figure out, you know, where to play certain things. So, because the guitar is pretty cool where you can actually just play the same thing in different positions with using different string combinations and stuff like that. So, and then these of course are the strings. This big part here is the body, and then here, right here, is called the sound hole. So if I play this, you can hear the sound. With electric, it's a bit different because it doesn't have a sound hole. You need to actually plug it in order to hear it ring. And then here, right here, this is called the bridge. So the bridge to the headstock, tuning nut and everything, this is what holds the tension between the strings to allow you to tune it into pitch. And then these white things here is just the anchors, I like to call them, to make sure the strings stay in place. So the strings, the way to count them down, so this low string, the big thick one, that's called the 6th string. Next string below that is the 5th. Next string below that is 4th. Then next string below that is 3rd. Next string below that is 2nd. Next string below that is 1st. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then if you go backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you look in your theory packet in the first page, it will show you the musical alphabet. The musical alphabet is letters A through G, so that's 7 letters. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So this is what we use for everything when creating chords, scales, tuning the guitar. That is our reference point for everything. And then there's a little bit extra stuff in between that, but we won't get into that yet. So for the first string, the 6th string here, to tune it, we want to look for the note E. And then the next string after that would be A, then D, G, B, and then we have another E. So what we want to do here is, I would recommend either getting a clip-on tuner or that clips onto the headstock, or you can also get a phone or a tablet tuner app which just uses the microphone from those. Sometimes those don't work as best, but they still get the job done. So, and then sometimes, like here, my guitar actually has a built-in tuner. So, okay, now we are going to talk about tuning the guitar. So this app I have is called Fender Guitar Tuner, and it is free online. So the strings here, we got our 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the way you want to excuse me, there we go. So the 6th string here would be E, A, D, G, B, E. So with that, we have the musical alphabet, which you can see on the first page of the theory packet in your workbook. And so it's the first 7 letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that your guitar here, so when it goes, if I hit that, it should pick up the note E. So it's not quite there. So it says it's flat. So when it means it's flat, you want to turn the tuning peg to the right. And you just want to go slow with it. So now it says it's a little too sharp, so you want to go, when it's sharp, you want to turn it back to the left. Almost there. There we go. So when it's in the green, that means it's in tune. So now we're going to go to the next one. Pretty close. And then D. And then what's good is you can actually hear that when it's in tune. Now, I want to go to the right. With these microphone tuners, they can be a little difficult. Because they're very sensitive. So what I would do is I would recommend actually a clip-on tuner. And then let's try it again. Sometimes it takes a little bit. So sometimes you won't automatically be exactly on, but you'll be really close. So if you're just slightly off, you'll be okay. But you really want to try to wait for that click to happen. So with that too, some guitars actually have built-in tuners, which this one actually does. So when you're looking at the musical alphabet A through G, so we want to get to the note E, right? So let's say if it gets down to the note D, if it's showing that. So you want to be able to look at the alphabet and go, okay, it's at D. So where do I need to go up to? Climb. So I want to go A, B, C, D, E. So you want to get up to that note E. So that means if it's at D, you want to go up to an E. So you want to turn your tuning peg until it gets up to that. Now if it's a little sharp and it hits like an F, that means you want to go down, because A, B, C, D, E, F, that means you need to go back to E. Or even if it's just a little sharp, you want to just make sure that you get that E right in the middle there. And then, so A would be the same thing. So if, let's say it's at a G, so that means you want to still get up to G. So because the alphabet repeats A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so that means you need to go back to A. So, and then let's say it's at a B, you want to make sure that it gets to an A. So, and it's the same thing that repeats for each of these strings. So like a D, if it's at a C, you want to turn your tuning peg up to get to a D. Same thing if it's, see, I'm trying to think. Then if it's at an E, you want to go down to a C, and then so on and so forth. So that's how you would tune your guitar. I would highly recommend getting a tuning device. So, and otherwise than that, let me know if you have any questions. All right, so now we're going to talk about holding the pick. So the pick, what we want to do is we want to take kind of like make a claw, and then we want to place the pick on your finger here, like on the knuckle, and then put your thumb over it, and then you just want a little bit pointing out, just like that. So it should look like that. So just a little bit pointing out. So now what we want to do is we just want to take the 6th string, so the big thick one, and we're going to work on a downstroke. So downstroke is by resting the pick on the string, and we're going to just pluck down. And we just want to try that for each string. And the good thing to do is to try to put your hand more closer to the sound hole, so you get more sound. And your hand should be relaxed, and as you can see, I'm barely moving the picking hand. So now we're going to do an upstroke, so it's just reverse. So we want to take the pick and put it underneath the string and go up. Same thing, so you just do that for each string. So then go back and forth with that. Now we're going to work on a down upstroke, so alternate picking. So we want to go down, and then we're going underneath the string, going up. So go. And as you can see, your hand should barely be moving. So it's kind of like you're plucking the string, and then as it's going down, your pick is actually sliding underneath the string. So then you would just go, and then pluck it back up. So you don't need to go, all the way down to the next string and then up. You want to try to do minimal movement as possible. So, and then there are going to be times where you're going to actually be, having to make wider picking patterns, but for the most part, try to get the most minimal movement as possible. So work on that, and then as well, let's try fretting a note. So fretting a note is making sure that they, sound on this big fretboard. So what we want to do is we want to go to, let's say, the 5th fret, because that's just right in the middle of the guitar, most comfortable position. And then want to remember to keep the guitar straight with your body. So by resting it on your leg, this whole curve here, that's supposed to be kind of like a rest to help you hold the guitar in place, because you want the guitar pretty much as straight as possible so your hands can be more comfortable when playing, because that's the goal, is to be comfortable when you're playing. So we want to take either the 1st or 2nd string here, and I usually like to start with like the 2nd string, sometimes even the 1st string, but just for giggles, let's just do the 2nd string. So what we want to do is we want to go to the 5th fret here, so that would be the 2nd dot here. So we got 3rd fret, so 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Nice. So then what we want to do is we want to take your pointer finger, so this is finger 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we want to take your 1st finger here and mute the string, so just slowly just hear that mute. And then now slowly press down. Right, there we go. Until you feel that note ring. And then gauge the amount of pressure that you're putting on. There shouldn't be that much pressure that you're putting onto the string. So if you put a lot of pressure on, it actually is bending that note out of tune, and then it will actually put an indent in your fingers, so it will actually hurt. And you don't want to hurt yourself while playing. It's supposed to be fun. So you want to do that for each finger. So go up to the 2nd finger, and then just kind of gauge the amount of pressure you're adding. The pinky one's going to be a lot different. But what I would do is I would go, you know, because it's the weaker finger. What I would like to do is go up from the 5th fret all the way up to, see if you can get up to like the 10th fret. So the 5th to the 10th fret and just go. You know, just go eat one finger at a time and do the first string and 2nd string for now. So do the 1st string. And so on and so forth. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know.